son. Where'd you find this?
Go on, make it happen.
And now here's Steve and Michelle.
Welcome to Mallet and Michelle. I'm Michelle, and I listen to books. And this is Steve, and he actually reads them like it's 1897.
And falls asleep.
I prefer someone narrating to me while I'm texting and driving, watching TV, pretending to exercise, and Steve likes the full pioneer experience, turning pages probably by a fire. But I do buy books at the airport. That is,
you buy the expensive books,
yes.
the $40 books.
Yeah, that's where I go buy my books, or
okay.
half-price books. Hey, did you know that half-price books at South Lamar is closing?
I did know
They're
that.
moving.
Yeah.
I need to go buy some cookbooks that I'll never use. But
Yeah. I have plenty. You can have all of mine.
well,
They've
what do you
never
make?
been opened.
Mallet, you make one thing,
I
frittata.
No, I haven't made frittata in a long time.
In a week?
Maybe a week and a half.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Well, frittatas are awesome. You just look at whatever you got in the fridge and you make a frittata. Whatever's
That's
there,
right.
it works.
Well, today's guest, we are going to have Mindy Laird, with the executive director of the Dripping Springs Community Library.
Yeah, and
excited
she's
to have her.
replacing Sarah Rose, who was on episode 117, and so we'll get her in here in a couple minutes.
Okay.
But first, sponsors.
Absolutely.
Could not do the show without our wonderful, wonderful sponsors.
Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room.
The tastiest place to be in Dripping on a Friday or Saturday night is the Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room. Stop by for some fun and flavor today.
In a couple of weeks away, Swampy Tonk.
How did that get here so fast?
Because we're not paying attention.
Yeah, Swampy Tonk is coming on March 28th over by Pigpen Barbecue, and tickets to Swampy Tonk 2026 are going fast. Get yours now at outhousetickets.com.
South Star Bank. I saw Kim Watson several times yesterday.
Yeah, and didn't they win something in the...
No, that's the community
Oh,
impact.
yeah, I can't
Yeah,
remember.
that's the community-
Everybody gets an award.
Everybody
You get
gets-
an award, and you get an award. No, South Star Bank deserves every award they ever get. South Star Bank, where they still shake your hand, know your name, and won't make you press 7 different buttons to talk to a human. Banking the way it should be at South Star Bank.
Mallet Integrity Team.
You're going to like this
Oh,
one.
I bet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read it. Go ahead.
Okay. When you jump into the real estate arena, you want a heavyweight on your side, and the Mallet Integrity Team is the 900-pound gorilla of the real estate world.
Oh, Punch Monkey.
Punch monkey?
I'm a punch monkey. I'm the punch monkey. I come to work, I get beat up.
Oh, you do not.
I do.
Jeez, everybody's just kid gloving you all day long. Michelle,
Yeah, I'm sure.
Don't be mad at me, Michelle, but I need you to do something for me. Would you do that, pretty please? I'll buy you a
Steve?
taco.
Steve, I'm going to take all the air out of your tires.
You're just
and
going to punch me?
I'm going to cut the line on your brakes.
All right. Well, before we get to that, let's welcome into the studio Mindy Laird, who's the executive director of the Dripping Springs Library. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Mindy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm
Yeah.
excited to be here.
Yeah, us too. When did you take over that spot?
I actually started at the end of 2023.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it has.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
Just clarification, I didn't take over for Sarah. Sarah was our capital campaign manager for
Oh,
a while.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Well, I'm glad
And
you clarified.
I came in as the library director in 2023, and then my position changed to executive director
Okay.
last year.
All
so,
right.
Yeah.
Well, tell us. We always want to know a little bit of background about the folks that come on the show. Where'd you grow up, and how'd you end up here in Dripping Springs?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, yes.
A lot of
Shout
people
out
come from Houston.
I know. Yeah, so I grew up on the northwest side of Houston. It's kind of like a conglomerate now. It's Tomball, Woodlands, Spring
Yep.
area. And we lived there up until 2019. My husband and I are high school sweethearts. So
Aw.
yeah, so all of our family is like still kind of within 10, 15 miles of each other in Houston, and we hightailed it out of here.
Did you go to school with Parker McCullum?
I'm very much older than Parker McCullum. But no, I did not. So we everybody was there. And in 2019, my husband had an opportunity. He worked in oil and gas, of course, as one does in Houston. and he was offshore a lot. So we had, 3 kids. We have 3 kids, and at that time, I was really looking for a little more balance with family life, and so they had an opportunity through that oil and gas company to move them to Austin, and I have my aunts here, my cousins here, and they were like, I really think you would like Dripping Springs.
Aw.
And we went and we came and visited with my cousin and just fell in love with the area. And yeah, so we came in 2019, and that's kind of what brought us initially.
So 6 months into your time here in Dripping Springs, they shut the world down.
Yes, and that changed everything for our family. I was, my husband was in, sales at that point now. We had to come in offshore. So he started in sales for oil and gas, and promptly got laid off right after we moved here. And I was working part-time for Scholastic Book Fairs as a field rep, and promptly got laid off.
Oh,
so
geez.
we moved here and both almost immediately got laid off. And
That's scary.
yeah, so it was a very interesting time, and we debated, do we move back home? What do we do now? And it's really interesting now that we can look back and reflect, maybe laugh a little now. We can see that, kind of everything happened for a reason, and these doors kept shutting and opening. And I all think it just worked out exactly the way that it should have. But it felt really difficult in that moment.
Yeah, I bet it did. Yeah, it's scary. And then,
It is.
yeah, the world shutting down. There was a lot of people that didn't know what the future was going to bring them on all different kinds of levels. Where'd you end up when you did get settled back into work?
Yeah, so I had gone through a stint of staying home with our children or working part-time. I had my undergrad degree in education, and then I had my master's degree in library science. And so I said, well, maybe this is time for me to go back into the education world. And an opportunity opened in Lake Travis. They were opening Rough Hollow Elementary School. So it was,
Oh, wow.
yeah, very first year, ground up, building a library. And I said, let's do it. So I jumped in and opened Rough Hollow Library, which was a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
And I was only there a year, and then Cypress Springs Elementary was set to open, and that's the school that we are zoned to.
Oh.
And they were looking for a librarian, and I thought, I really don't want to leave here. But I mean, how do you pass up this opportunity
10
to
minutes
be
from home, 5 minutes from home.
I was driving 45 minutes a day to and from Rough
Sure.
Hollow, but I was like, I've got to try this. And so met Kelly Raymond, the
Yes.
principal that went from Dripping Springs Elementary to open Cypress Springs, and and then I went and I opened another school. So I
Wow.
opened Cypress Springs Elementary as a librarian, and things just kept rolling. But that's how I kind of got back into the workforce world and really kind of found my family and home and community here in Dripping Springs, and changed everything.
Yeah.
How would you compare Dripping Springs to, growing up in Northwest Houston?
I think it's so great. What we really loved about Dripping Springs was that it's beautiful, first of all. I mean, you come here and you just feel so at peace and connected with nature, but it is a small town feel. And I know we have a lot of conversations in our community these days about, how quickly we're growing and, maintaining that small town feel, but that maintains. I think through all of this growth, it still feels special and small.
Yeah, go to LA or Chicago or New York and then come back here and tell us we're growing too fast.
Exactly. And you still go back to Houston quite often. I was reading in your bio that you have maintained your season tickets your family has to the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
And so
Since they were the Oilers.
So that's what I wanted to ask you. So do you, when I still look at the Houston Texans, I still think of them
Lovey
as
blue?
Yes, yes, still the Oilers.
Yeah.
So do you still kind of see that?
A little bit, yeah. I think there's some nostalgia with the Oilers. Growing up in Houston, my parents were divorced, and so when we would get weekends with my dad, he would take my sister and I, And he would do what he loved. And
Oh, yeah.
so we would either end up watching golf or going to a Oilers game. He'd get standing room only. And I don't know if you ever went to the Astrodome for standing room only tickets, but they had these handrails that you could just stand by. And he'd prop our little butts right there on that handrail.
I didn't know that. And
I'd
stand up for a whole football game?
Yeah, and spend my Sundays just propped up on that rail. And so when the team dissolved, or not dissolved, when the team moved to Tennessee, it was a while before we got started with the Houston Texans, 2002. And my sister, who is a little bit older than me, who could appreciate the games a little more than I could at that time, they went in on purchasing season tickets in 2002 in what is referred to as the bullpen. So it's kind of the rowdy section of the Texans. And you stand the whole time. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So they have maintained those tickets throughout the years. And for a stint, my dad moved to San Francisco for, I think it was like 13 years. And so my husband and I and my sister would go to every game. So I don't go as much anymore, but it's still such a deeply ingrained piece of our family.
When I was a teenager, I waited on Bum Phillips.
Yes.
I was like 18, 19 years old in Corpus Christi, and I had one of the funniest interactions with Bum Phillips. It was like a 2-story restaurant, Water Street Oyster Bar in Corpus, and I was cleaning a table, and a steak knife flew off the table, and he was sitting in the chair, and it went right between his legs. It just landed right, like straight up. And I went down there. I was like, and I didn't know who he was, because I'm like 19. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And the busboys were like, do you know who that is? And I was like, that's the coach of the Oilers, or the former coach of the Oilers. I was like, oh no, I didn't know who that was. And he goes, it's okay, little lady. He goes, turn around. And I turned around, and he looked at my butt.
Oh my gosh,
Bum
Bum.
looked at my butt, and he goes, you're okay. And I was like, oh my gosh. It's a long time ago.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, that's some good memories back there.
Yeah.
Houston has changed.
It really has.
So much. I lovingly refer to you as Houston as the armpit of Texas.
I could see that.
I'll be there next week. I go to the rodeo all the time,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's. I bet you miss being able to be close to that. I will go to the rodeo and turn around and come back the same night.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's a commitment. I do love. It will always be home to me. It's starting to. My children call Dripping Springs home, which is interesting. It will always be home, and every time I go back, I just feel warm. But then I'm like, ugh, everything is so crowded here.
It's the humidity, Mindy.
It's oppressive.
When we have to go through Houston, I will drive an extra 45 minutes to go around Houston because I hate going into
The
that
traffic
town.
is.
Well,
We
it'll
complain
take you
about
2 hours to get through Houston. instead of 40.
Even like on a Sunday afternoon at 6:30 or 5:30, it's bumper to
Wild.
bumper all the way through there. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, take us. So you were at the Sycamore Springs, started that library.
Cypress Springs, yes.
Cypress Springs. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I know. And then, and now you're the executive director of the
Yes.
library. How'd that happen?
It's funny. I actually just told this story this morning. I had a board meeting this morning. And Marcy Cochran is a board member. And at that time, she had a daughter, Juniper, at Cypress Springs. And she's an esthetician. And so she had donated a facial for Teacher Appreciation Week for a raffle. And I won the facial. So I went to go get a facial. And, she's just talking to me, and she said, I'm on the library board. We're building a new building. And I was like, oh, that's so lovely. Like, I always dreamed, later on, I would love to transition out of, the education setting and move into public library service and just kind of reach a broader community. And she was like, that's wonderful. Why don't you get involved with, the campaign and what's going on? I said, yeah. And not long after that, I had gotten involved as a volunteer on the campaign. And not long after that, the position opened up for library director. And I thought, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try it. I want to see. I think, the interesting thing about our district and librarians in our district, it's kind of outside of a traditional school librarian role. They call them FLIES, Facilitator of Learning and Innovation. And it really is a great opportunity for librarians to kind of step outside of that traditional role, offer resources and support to teachers, but also be on the leadership team. And so I felt like I was very grateful to have had that transition from school librarian to facilitator of learning and innovation, and really being part of the leadership team at a school, and really being under, Kelly's leadership and learning so much about that I thought, I think I can do this, and I want to try it.
How different is it from running a city public library versus just on a school level? I guess it's quieter.
Oh my God. Well, I have learned so much. It's night and day. And, I don't know if you guys know this, but we're not technically a city library.
So we learned that when Sarah was here. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I kind of. Remind us again.
Yeah. Okay, so traditional public libraries are usually part of the municipality, right? And
they get money
from the city. Yeah, they're part of the budget of the city. We in Dripping Springs, we had never created a public library through our city, and so I feel like I'm segueing, but this year we celebrate 40 years of the library.
That's crazy.
In 2026. So I've done a lot of diving on the history, and in 1986, a group of volunteers. They were led by Charlotte Rhodes.
Was 1986 40 years ago?
It was 40 years ago. Yeah.
I'm really depressed right
my
now.
Insane.
Yeah.
Okay, continue
40
with your
years,
story.
sorry.
I got stuck. I was like, let's
That
do
was a
the math.
rabbit trail.
I was like, I was thinking 1960. Oh, 1960.
I still sometimes think of that back from like the 2000s, like 40 years ago. So a group of volunteers got together. They were led by Charlotte Rhodes, and they created a nonprofit library. And at that time, it was one room in the Dripping Springs High School, which is now the middle school.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
it stayed there for a long time. And it was really just built on the vision and the generosity of the people. And it was all volunteers, and it was all money raised. And then in 1999, it was put to the community for a vote to create a special district library. And that means we could create a library that would receive a small portion of sales tax within our ETJ. So
Okay.
not just Dripping Springs, but it kind of mimics the school board lines. And that's really unique. It passed. There's only 15 special district libraries in all of Texas, and we are one of them. We're really unique in that, and there's a lot of misunderstanding, I think, around that special district status. But we get 1/4% of the sales tax in our ETJ.
Okay.
So we were able to kind of create a dedicated revenue stream that helped us to build the current library. We built that library, started that in 1999. And it's been great, and it helps support the things that we do and what we offer to the community, but it definitely does not keep up with the pace.
I was going to say, you probably have outgrown that building years and years and years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like 9,600 square feet. An interesting thing is we're still to maintain accreditation through Texas State Library and Archives Commission. We still have to maintain those same standards that public libraries with bigger budgets get. So it's been really interesting. We do have that special district revenue stream, but we were able to maintain that fundraising arm, that nonprofit, and that's been essential. That, along with our Friends of the Library, who was a separate 501c3, to really supplement and help keep up with the growth and the trends. It's just vitally important.
For people who haven't stepped foot in a library in a long time, what do you think would most surprise them?
Oh my gosh, I just talked about
the Dewey
this.
Decimal System.
I still love the Dewey Decimal System, but I think libraries have just become more than just books. It's still always about books, right? Like that's still at the heart of everything that we do. But libraries have really become a space where people can create community and come and gather. It's the great equalizer, right? We offer everything that we do, all of the books, all of the resources, all of the programs, our space. Every opportunity is free for the community. So we're always looking at a way to provide more for our entire community at zero cost. And so that can look like really innovative programming, which I'm sure we'll talk more about, and really innovative resources. It's not just books. We have
You have a podcast room.
we don't have a room, but
Or
we
the room.
do.
You have the podcast equipment.
We
the road,
do.
yes.
Yes, I actually commented on your Roadcaster. Podcasting is so popular, and it's just an avenue for creativity, but it's expensive, right? And so it's not always attainable. So,
So can people check this
they
equipment
can.
out?
You can.
Oh,
so
okay.
I got with a company that helped me put together a little backpack, and it's a Roadcaster and mics, and headphones, and you could come and check it out.
That's
and
cool.
try your hand at podcasting without having to invest in the equipment, right? So that's one of our resources.
That's really cool. We talk to people all the time. They're, I've been thinking about doing this podcast for years, and the expense holds them back.
Yep.
But a lot of times they overthink it too.
Yes.
And like Michelle and I tell this story all the time that we just decided to do it. We set up it's called the Zoom 8.6 and just started recording. And it was terrible in the beginning, but you just got to start.
Yep.
And that's a great opportunity
maybe-
for somebody to go in there and do that.
Maybe we should check it out when we're doing a remote sometime.
Yeah,
we
you
can,
should.
like
We would love
that
that.
way we'd have a little sign right there and they'd
Yeah.
know.
Donate it or
Yeah.
courtesy of the Dripping Springs
Yeah.
Library.
Yeah. Or come teach a program. Teach people how
There
to
you go.
podcast.
I actually, we have talked about doing that. That so many people tell us they want to do it and they don't even know where to start.
I agree with that. I think that, we would like to see that checked out more, but I think it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we do with, being able to offer free programs is we really tap on our community to say, hey, lend your time and your talents, and we'll give you the space and the audience to do that.
And so most of the staff are volunteers. Is that right?
No, we're now paid staff.
okay.
We do have a great little army of volunteers that like to help. We have volunteers that have been around for a very long time.
Yeah.
Very loyal. But they help with programs. They help with shelving. They help with the efforts for the new library.
Sure.
So there's a lot going on there.
I have a question.
Sure.
It's very personal. Okay.
Okay.
You ready for this? Who chooses the books that get put in the library or the
Yes.
audiobooks? Because and can I request
Yes.
certain audiobooks?
100%. Actually, we really encourage you to do that.
Really?
Yes, we have. We have 2 librarians on staff that are responsible for acquisitions and curating collections. Our children's librarian, Olivia, curates the collection for children's, and then my assistant director, Tammy, curates the adult collection. And so we're always looking for recommendations. I think, as librarians, we're trained in collection development and how to use data to drive your decisions and make the most of your resources. But I mean, have you kept up with Book Talk? And there is so much that just
What's
goes.
Book Talk?
There's a whole
TikTok.
viral
TikTok.
TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Just-
that's not my thing.
Yes.
based on book recommendations.
Yes.
And they get these huge followings. And so it's really hard to keep up with all the trends. We keep up with new releases and stuff, but sometimes it's kind of the underground that pops up that we're like, we had no idea. So always encourage
Well,
you to
going to
suggest.
the Libby app, I
Yes.
guess that's what you guys
Yes.
are using. The Libby app is, I feel, a little hard to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever owns the Libby app needs to update
Listen
their.
up, Overdrive.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it so much. It's not super friendly, but it's you can figure it out.
Like when you put something on hold, or then you put something
Yeah.
on. There's another one and
Notification.
You can,
if
yeah, and I'm
it's-
like,
yeah.
I have gotten a book and then I've accidentally
Yeah.
given the book back.
The sort of secret thing that we discovered, my wife Holly and I joined the library 6 months ago, and we downloaded the Libby app, and we're like, well, the Dripping Springs Library doesn't have that many titles. I think you have 3,000 audiobooks. But
Yeah.
well, the trick was we
Houston.
joined the Houston
one.
library, and you can download their
Yes.
Libby from them, and
Yep.
they have
They have a lot.
I
They have
think-
a big budget.
yeah, I think over 100,000 titles. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
free.
And I think Harris County, same way.
Okay.
There's a couple of different ones that
Yeah.
I have on my phone. I
Yeah.
always encourage people, if they allow you to sign up for a free library card and you don't have to be a resident, then sign up for them.
Yeah.
It's always great to have options. We did just rejoin the Central Texas Digital
I
Consortium.
saw that.
Okay.
So that is a shared collection with a bunch of different
Is that through
libraries.
Libby?
It is.
Yeah,
through
I
Libby.
did.
Okay.
I saw it. You had to. It made me re-log in, and I had to
Yeah.
choose
Okay,
my
I'll have to do
library.
that,
Yeah.
So
I want to ask a follow-up
Okay.
question on yours. So how you choose the books?
Mm-hmm.
Do you sometimes have books that are brought into the library and somebody comes up to you and says, "You should not have this book in here. I don't think that this belongs in here."
Yes.
How do you handle that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's different. It's happened to me in the schools, and it's happened to me at our community library as well. And you know, what you always have to point back to is that you have a really great collection development policy. It goes back to policy. What do you want for your collection? And you can always point back to your policy. Anybody can, formally challenge books, but it goes through a very formal process, whether you're in the schools or in a public library. But
Every book is chosen that way, or every book that is objected to goes through that scrutiny?
no, every book that receives a formal challenge goes through the same process
I
that's
gotcha.
outlined in policy. But every book that we order has to fit in what we've set as a policy
What
for
you
our
want the
collection.
collection
yeah,
to
I
be.
feel that public school versus the community library. I feel like the criteria should and can be a little
Yeah.
bit different.
Yeah.
What the children are reading versus grade level or maturity level versus a community library. It's a different story.
I mean, if you think about that, there are lots of books out there that I would never read, wouldn't be interested in reading, but I don't need to have them removed from the shelves.
No, yeah,
Right.
it's just
It's
like
not my thing.
Yeah.
it's
but
just
that's
like a
okay.
movie. I'm not
Somebody
going to
else's
watch it.
thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah.
So back to the library, since I mentioned Libby and Steve also mentioned the Houston library. How much does it cost to get a library card?
$0.
Zero. And so people don't realize with this library card, you can get audiobooks.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you one more thing. Download Hoopla. So what we develop a collection on Libby, but Hoopla is usually we don't develop that collection, but it's paid per circulation. So it's per circ is what we call it. So it's not that we own it, but if you check it out, we get charged for the circulation. So free library cards for anyone that lives, works, or attends school in all of Hays
Crazy.
County.
Oh,
Crazy.
interesting.
So it's all of Hays County. And so you're a student at Texas State, come get a free
Come
library
get it,
card.
yeah.
We do charge for non-resident
Yeah.
cards because it is very collection develop. It's very expensive to develop a collection, and so we want to be mindful that of waiting times and holds. That's always on our mind. We try to keep our holds down to 2 weeks maximum. So
We walked in there on a Saturday, Holly and I did, and walked out with our library cards in like 5 minutes.
yeah.
Well,
It was fast.
in regards to the library cards and all of the community, explain to me the books. How is that process? Okay, I imagine somebody coming in who's a new author and saying, "Here, carry my book." You, as a library, have to pay for the collection of
Yes.
books. Okay. I mean, I'm no stupid questions here. You have to pay for
No.
those collections. But do people ever come in with you like your half-price books
Yes.
and have brought you boxes of books and say, "Here"?
I was actually going to tell you, since you mentioned half-price books earlier, we do have people donate to the library. Our friends of the library, a lot of their fundraising is book sales. So you might notice on like Founders Day, it's usually the library and then the friends of the library selling books next to them. So they'll do events where they resell books. We also have a room in the front that's a dedicated book sale, and it's so cheap. It's like $1, $2 per book.
Really?
And a lot of them are ex-library books that are in great shape that because we are so tight on space, we have to wait a lot before we can put more books on the shelf.
wow.
So if the circulation is low, we get it out so that we can put higher circulating materials on the shelves. So you could go to that little book sale and you can, shop it and leave with 10 books for $10, you know?
So all of the fundraising that you guys are doing right now is to have a new building. What is that going to be like when you guys finally reach your goals and you have this magnificent, beautiful, big building?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so excited. I came in to this position, and they were already in the process of planning the new building, and rightfully so. We are so tight on space for programs, for materials, for staff. And the board really wanted to design a building that would sustain the growth, right? Some libraries branch, open different locations, but they really wanted to be intentional about making sure that we built a building that was going to last. And so this building has been in the works for a while. It's hard because of the way that we're set up. We're not a city library. We can't just go out to a voted bond and build a new library. You really got to kind of be scrappy and figure out how you're going to get this funded and make it work for your community.
And the longer it takes to fundraise, the higher the construction costs are going as well. So how far away are you guys from your goal?
From your goal. Yeah, so when we started the capital campaign, the goal was $5 million. And that number came about by doing a really great look at sales tax projections. Our projections look really healthy. All this growth coming, in retail and business, and kind of just looking at our operating expenses and what a loan, a debt service would cost on a building like this. And so the timeline, the $5 million was kind of that gap in okay, it's going to take us till this year, 5 years out, to be able to say that our sales tax revenue has now caught up to where we can afford the operating and the debt service, right, at the same time. So we were really stepping out into the community and saying, hey, help us get there and do this now so that the price of the construction costs, like you mentioned, aren't rising. We really need to get this done. And so, we're over $2 million raised towards that $5 million. I think something that we've really realized in this process is that this is something that we're always going to need to do, more of an annual fund to just supplement the growth and what we receive in sales tax. So I think, we have that goal of $5 million for this capital campaign for the new building, but it's always going to be, helping to fill the gaps of what we need.
Yeah, so this is a pretty affluent town. You need a couple of those donors.
Yes.
I know there's some charities that receive hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars from individuals. If you were able to sit down right now with one of those individuals that could scratch a $500,000 check and give them the pitch, what would you say?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is the future of Dripping Springs. There's nothing like this. We absolutely do not have a space here where we offer free room to meet, free room to hold civic events, or the programs, just the free programming and the amount of reach. It reaches not only the entire community of Dripping Springs, but into Hays County. The reach is so great, and I think, there's so many great nonprofits here, and there's so many great ways to contribute and directly impact your community, but this literally impacts everyone,
From kids to seniors, retirees, it's everybody. Everybody can be touched and impacted by
I bet if you donated $3 million, I bet you they'd name the library after you.
Can you just take that out of the bank account when you get done, please? Yeah.
The Mallet Library.
The Mallet Community Library.
I'll be in the cardboard box behind the building over here sleeping tonight.
I was looking at, we won a Star Award from the
Yes,
Chamber.
we talked about that.
Yeah, nonprofit of the year.
Yeah.
And I shared with the crowd, it was so great because I was looking out and I was looking into the sea of people and I saw library volunteers. I saw staff members. I saw friends of the library. I saw business supporters and sponsors. I saw other nonprofits that partner with us and support us. It was just like this library is the cornerstone of this community. And it was just such a great feeling.
It's funny because I think there's a group of people out there that think libraries are irrelevant now.
Yes.
Antiquated.
Yeah, so why, and I don't think that way, but I'm going to ask you the question, why do people think libraries are irrelevant, and why are they wrong?
I think I can definitely speak to this. I think it's generational. We see at the library, or here's what I hear, two groups of people. One group says, people still come to the library? And I'm like, absolutely, we are every day. There's no parking spaces. But I also see people that come and I hear this almost weekly. We're new to the area, and we know the first thing that we do when we move is you go and get your library card. I can speak to this, and I understand the misconception because it hasn't been useful to them in the past, right? It has to. You have to have felt value from it to really to appreciate it.
Sure.
And I did not grow up in libraries, and something interesting about how I came to be a librarian is I wasn't even a reader when I was younger. And so that's another story. But I had some people along the way in life that taught me and that were intentional about telling me that I was a reader, and then the opportunities to get involved and really see what libraries have to offer. And there was no turning back. Once you experience that, it's life changing. So give me the opportunity to get you in the doors and connect you. That's part of our problem too. We haven't reached those people. We haven't connected them with what matters. So we have a big task on our hands.
That was a big part of when my kids were younger, is we would go to the library in Austin, and we'd go to story time, and it was an opportunity, number one, to have something free. I was always looking for stuff free for my kids to do, and number two, just to kind of have a little sense of community. But you talked about earlier about being part of the Scholastic.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, when I was a kid, Steve didn't grow up. His schooling wasn't here in the United States when he was younger, so he didn't have this experience.
Oh my gosh.
But so for me, there was Rich, and then there was Scholastic Money Rich.
Oh.
Man, my mom would give me $2, and I had $2 to spend.
At the book fair?
Every smelly pen you can get.
$2. Or like all of my posters probably came from the Scholastic. Like I had a Michael Jackson poster, and I had a Van Halen poster, and then you're right. Then I was talking about my Judy Blume books or Flowers in the Attic or whatever it was, and it was an opportunity of like me, a young girl growing up in a small little podunk town, to kind of transform myself to another place. And also, I'm dyslexic. And I didn't know I was dyslexic back then, but I knew that I had to read.
Mindy, she's dyslexic.
I'm dyslexic.
Trust me, she's dyslexic.
But I had to read the book several times sometimes in order to get it. Or I became a really good speed reader because of it. But it was something that really touched and changed my life. Right? It kind of I expanded outside before the internet, right? I expanded my world outside something bigger than myself.
It's funny, I grew up in Spain and London, and back in the black and white days, in the 70s, we didn't have TV in Spain. And there were 2 channels in London, BBC and Thames Television. That was it. That was all you could have for TV.
Thames Television?
Thames Television. Like the Thames River, T-H-A-M.
Oh, I thought you were like Tim, like Tim Conway.
No,
I was like, that
Thames. But so the library was really important in my childhood. I would read 3-4 books a week, every week. And I just, because there wasn't, that, now we have all these distractions in life nonstop. We didn't have those back then. So what I kind of thought maybe I was bored back then was actually a blessing and made me a reader.
Yeah. Well, but having to expand your world as well, now as an adult, we're able to have the audiobooks. We were talking about that, about.
Which allows you to sort of multitask.
Yes.
I can't listen to an audiobook when I'm doing something I have to concentrate, but if I'm running
driving.
or driving or riding my bike, I can listen. But Mindy, you mentioned innovative programming. So I want to ask you, what types of programs do most people not realize our library provides today, and what is innovative programming?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to our programs manager, Jessica Seeger. I met her through the school district. We were facilitators of learning and innovation together in the district. She was flies. We were flies together. I said we need
You
a
were the
shirt that
fly
says,
girls?
"I'm so fly."
Yeah, you were the fly girl.
There you go. There's the title.
You and Jennifer Lopez, you're a fly girl.
Oh yes. So and then she was also, excuse me. She was also an assistant principal in the district. She came to Cypress Springs, and she was an assistant principal there. And we worked so well together. We just shared this passion for innovation and creativity that just drove us. And I think there was that pushing each other to like always be dreaming and having a good vision. And so Jessica came on to the library summer of 2025. And she has just been expanding programs in every arena. Some of the things that I'm really proud of are our new ESL and bilingual offerings.
Okay.
She's teamed up with some of the bilingual teachers in the district, and we now have bilingual and ESL story times for middle school and elementary school.
Cool.
We have adult ESL conversation circles for people learning English as a second language. I'm just so super proud of that.
I feel like that's always the most underserved community or group of people in our community.
Yeah.
And so are those classes full? Or those...
We'd love to get more. Always looking to get more, always looking to get the word out. But it's been really well received and also really well really appreciated.
Any charge for those?
No charge,
That's
never.
crazy.
Yeah,
That's great.
never. We teamed up with the Art League, which I just love the Art League, and they. One of the things that we've seen that is super popular and what people are wanting is art and creativity programs. And so the Art League and their artists have really helped us to create really great programs where people can come and take a watercolor class for free. So I'm really excited about those. I love teaming up with even the students in the school district. We have kids in the school district in the high school that'll come and tutor after school. The floral design team just came in and did a wreath making class.
That's
awesome. Just lots of really great partnerships that I'm really proud of.
It sounds to me like one of the things you should stress is that if you're new to the community and you want to get plugged in and meet some people, start at the library. Like you said, get your library card, but further than that, get plugged in, go to some of these classes, go to some of the meetups, and really get to know
Mindy,
people.
in your opinion, what makes a good library today?
I mean, I think somebody that's always evaluating and reassessing what the community needs. You can have a vision for what you want to do, but it's not going to be successful if it's not serving the people in your community, your patrons. And so I think always looking at data, always being intentional about feedback, and really being plugged in. I think, one of the things in my transition from library director, just running a library, to really that executive director position where I can be more engaged in the community has just opened my eyes to different partnerships, different needs. But I think a really successful library is listening to their community and is responding to their community and acting on it.
Yeah. Mindy, what do you think the library of the future looks like in 20 or 30 years, with AI and digital media and ebooks? What's the library of the future?
They all want
like?
everybody wants something fast right now.
Instant gratification. We grow with it, right? You can't deny that it's coming. I think some people look at it and say, no, we're going to stick to our good old fashioned. We will stick to that, but we have to grow. And we have to grow with what's happening in the world. And so where do you go if you don't know the information to something? If you just are stumped, I tell this to the staff all the time, where would you go to seek that information? I mean, you could go online, but that's getting trickier.
I agree with you.
Yes.
It's true. We find that all the time. We see things and we go, that's not right. I've seen 5 other stories that contradict that. Yeah, you're right.
I saw the library. That's
I saw this video of, excuse me, it was this history teacher think it was college level. And he said, I'm going to give you a couple of subjects, and I want you to go into our library, to our college campus library, and you are not allowed to use the internet at all. You have to go and like,
so great.
one of them was like, how was toothpaste invented, right? And you have to go be able to find it. And he said he saw such excitement in these young people going to try to search and not
doing research,
doing
like being
some research.
like a detective and trying to find that. I bet that was
But
fun.
you know what, back to your AI question, what I started doing, because, again, I'm dyslexic, but reading what was that book I just read? How to Get to Know People. I put that book, or I put it in ChatGPT, and I said, can you please give me the bullet point things that I may have missed, right? And then I was going back to that chapter and listening to it again. And then also in that book, he was recommending a lot of other books. And I asked Chat, hey, can you tell me the books that were recommended in that? And then I could go research. So I was using it kind of as an add-on, as a supplement to me actually listening to the
Mindy,
book.
does that mean, going along with what Michelle said, the library of the future is there's more technology than there used to be?
I think, always. I think so. I think that's part of that innovation piece. And I think growing with people, like I said earlier, and teaching them how to navigate these tools and these resources. I do think it looks like more technology, but I think, it also is more important than ever to maintain, the traditional physical materials as well.
Do you think a class on critical thinking might be? Might be. I
agree.
Kind of joking and kind of serious, because I think there's a lot of people out there now. They read something and they just take it as a gospel truth, and sometimes it's not.
16-year-old.
Well, I think a lot of kids that think. I saw it on social media. That old meme about it must be true. It's on the internet. Abraham Lincoln said that. It's like, okay, obviously that's not true, but people believe whatever they read online. So I think going into the future, the library of the future, you're going to have a hard time, because technology is going to come, and it's going to be hard for you to teach people and help people find out what the real truths are, because there are some real truths out there.
I like to, I don't know that many people know this, but there's kind of an art. You learn this in your master's courses to become, it's called library science, right? And so one of those things that you learn is a whole reference interview. And really, that is at the core of critical thinking.
Sure.
You are really trying to nail down and focus in on what somebody is really trying to get. And it's, but I agree. I think, definitely critical thinking
it would go a long way. And I think in our culture in general, for people to be a little more skeptical sometimes about what they read, what they believe, the videos that they see.
Talk about the library on wheels.
This is my favorite thing to talk about. I'm so excited about this. We've had a lot of questions with the campaign going on, and then, kind of funding for this as well. We've got a lot of needs that we are trying to fund, but this is, it's not this or that, it's this and that, right? Even at the new library, we're still going to have the same issue, right? We have a very large ETJ. I think it's 110 square miles. And we can serve Hays County. But just here in our ETJ, it is very widespread. I live on the furthest east side of the town that you could get. I mean, I think they're right on the line. And so I remember before I worked at the library how hard it was for me to get to the library, and to not only that, but then to return it on time. And it was so stressful for me, and I definitely couldn't attend a program. And so a lot of libraries have already done this, and that's include outreach vehicles, so that you could take not only the resources, the books, right, and the awesome other physical resources that we offer, and take them directly into the community, but also programming. We can take everything that we're doing and do it on a different scale and bring it directly to people and meet them where they're at. It's very exciting.
Is this like a bus that's set up as a library?
That's a good question. So,
or is it a virtual library on wheels?
No, it's a real one.
Okay.
And I love kind of the story of how we picked what vehicle we were going to use, because I think people do, when you talk about a bookmobile or library on wheels or outreach vehicle, people think about that traditional, I'm going to get on the bus and look at books. Jessica and I went to, it's an outreach vehicle conference, and basically they had every outreach vehicle you could do. We got on huge Winnebagos,
That's funny.
vans, but really what we noticed is that in this conference, we would like look in there and there'd be like 3 people and we're like, oh, we're good. Like that feels a little crowded.
Yeah.
And these events and these places that we want to take, Founders Day, can you imagine like only serving 3 people at a time or 4 people at a time? It's just, it doesn't work. And for what we have the vision. So this is actually, you have it pulled up. It's a Ford F-350, and this back of it has been designed where both sides.
This little diagram or this little picture is
similar.
actually similar to what you
very
actually. That's
similar.
very cool.
Yeah,
Very
Kathy
cool.
Richardson designed that for us, and we gave her the idea of what we were doing. And so both sides pop up. It's so charming and cute. It's just my favorite thing. But inside we can put a whole collection of books, or if we're doing a STEM program at one of the elementary schools, we get asked to go to so many events, so we could stick robots on there. But we can take out in the back, there's storage, so we can take out the tables, the rugs,
cool.
and make it a space.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
So it's the space around
Yeah.
the library on wheels becomes like the library itself.
Versus
That's
the
very
vehicle
cool.
itself.
Yeah.
Will you go take that maybe to like the senior center where
Yes.
people live? And I mean that's a great resource because they may have a hard time getting transportation or driving over to the library, and you come to them.
Yep.
I could see that in a lot of different places.
There's so many opportunities, and we work with Ledgestone all the time. We actually talking about innovation, we do technology assistance for them. So we'll basically go set up, and we're like, bring your phone and tell us we'll teach them how to access their email, or
Can you do that for me?
I was going to say their
Meet us
grandkids
at
are probably
Ledgestone.
thanking you like, oh, I don't need to help set Grandpa set up his new iPhone.
Please,
Please let
Yes.
somebody else do that.
I want to ask something silly.
Okay.
What is, since you've been there, what is the most someone has owed on a past due
I
library book?
love that you asked this question. The first thing I did when I became the library director was I got rid of late fees and fines.
Really?
We are trying to break down barriers, and that creates a barrier for access if you're worried about a late book. Now, if you lose it or damage it, pay to replace it. We still do that.
Sure.
But I got rid of late fees. So I don't even know anymore because people don't owe to their
That's
book.
awesome. So do people pay attention and still trying to return them
I
on
think
time?
people are really, in our community, people are really respectful. And, if it's been out a long time and there's like a wait list, we'll give them a call and say, hey, we've got a wait list. Do you mind? And everybody is just so lovely. They really are. I mean, and we've got enough to choose from that I think it doesn't really
It's like
impact.
the audiobooks that I listen to too, that I'll have like 2 or 3 going at the same time, and it just depends on what mood I'm in.
Me too.
Where I'll listen to it. But then there are sometimes I'll listen to it halfway. We were talking about this earlier. I'll listen to it halfway and I'm like, it takes like this turn. I'm like, okay, I got enough out of this book, and done. Done.
And
Return
it.
early.
Return early.
The flowers.
Yeah.
Do you ever see that when you return it early? I love that
Is
flower.
that, I didn't know that. I
Yes.
got that. I never noticed it. I mean, I've noticed it, but I didn't pay attention to that. That's funny.
There should be a
That's flower.
reward system,
Yeah, it should
Steve.
be.
Like a little
you should get like a little badge. Oh, you returned 5 books early. Good for you.
Or you listen to this book for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Mindy, what has surprised you most about this role as the executive director?
I mean, so much. I don't know how much time you have.
We got a few more minutes. Go ahead.
No, this is absolutely unlike any job I've ever had. With going back to a city public library, you have systems in place, right, where you've got a legal team, you've got HR, you've got a maintenance team. You're looking at it. So
You do it all.
That's kind of like me.
And me.
yeah. So and the construction process. Like I have learnred so much about permitting and construction and project managers and construction managers and platting, and it's endless.
More than you ever wanted to know, probably.
Endless,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's cool, though. I can't wait to see this new building when it's finally done.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
One more question for you, and then did you have
Go ahead.
Yeah. In your bio, I'm kind of segueing out of this. You mentioned your big why, but you didn't go into what that is. So tell us about what your big why is. And you mentioned it's different for work and for family. Tell us about that.
I think, I kind of started this in education and had some great leaders that kind of really instilled that you're always pointing back to your why. And you can always use that as your test of like, are you meeting the mark?
Yeah.
And, in education, my why was the kids. What's best for kids? Is this best for kids, right? And now it's transitioned to community. Is this what's best for the community? And I can hold that through to my staff as a leader and say, have hard conversations when we're, maybe not agreeing on something. And I can say, is this what's best for the community? And, we can always come to some agreement on that. And
I love that.
Yeah. And personally, just how are you supporting the people that you love? How are you showing up? And
sometimes you need that filter to run a complicated situation through and go, okay, at the end of the day, we do this. Is this better for the people we serve? And if the answer is no, then we don't do that. That makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, because we can let our own judgments of what we want cloud those decisions of what's tough or what's harder. But is it what's best? Then that's what we're going with.
Yeah, we do the same thing in our real estate business. At okay, here we've got this complicated situation. And what we need is what's best for the client. Let's identify what's best for the client and then work through all those issues to get them that situation. Yeah. It's nice to have those kind of filters.
Yeah. Mindy, I think that you are one of the most perfect examples of an outsider, right? There's all this talk about people moving in here from Dripping Springs, an outsider that came into Dripping Springs and has truly made Dripping Springs your community. And you care so much about us and our needs even before we even know what our needs are. And we're very lucky to have somebody like you. And I wish a lot more people, when they've moved in here to Dripping Springs, you didn't come in here and say, I'm going to change all of this. I'm going to make it exactly the way it was back when I lived in Houston. And you've acclimated and you've understood our community. And so thank you. We are so lucky and blessed to have you here.
Thank you. That gave me chills. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it should be on that checklist when you move into a community. Set up your mail, turn on your utilities, go get your library card.
Yes. Mindy, how can people donate to library, or how can they find you guys?
Yeah. So if you go to dscl.org and you click on Library Future, you're going to see that we have a lot of ways that you can support our mission. There's a lot of things we didn't even talk about, but coming up is going to be a 40th year celebration. So be on the lookout for that during or under Library's Future. You can donate right there, and you can also learn about all of the wonderful events that we're having to support our mission. And then I would be remiss to say, go see the calendar and go really check it out.
We were looking at the calendar yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, look at all the stuff they're doing. It's like every day there's 5 or 6 things going on.
That's what so I play Mahjong on my iPad, like the airport version Mahjong, and I really desperately want to learn how to play.
It's expensive. That's one of our.
And some of those sets are
There's
nice.
a wait list. It's one of our most popular programs. And so we have expanded it even more, but it's usually expensive to learn because you can get instructors, but it's expensive. So Deep Eddy has been awesome about letting us host Mahjong.
That's cool.
We love Deep Eddy.
I know. Solara Winery, we do one there too. And then also we have our normal groups that meet and play at the library. So that's been really great.
Here's one for Steve. The benefits of inner light meditation.
Yeah, I was just, while you guys were talking about Mahjong, I was like, I've lived such a sheltered life, I don't even know what that is. So that won't be on my list.
It's like dominoes, but not.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I know dominoes.
Yeah.
Do you know how to play?
No, I've sat in on the intro to Mahjong lessons, and nope, not yet. I want to learn, but it's very intimidating.
Like Sudoku for me. I'm like, I got more things to do in my life than that. I'm not going to take on that challenge. But Mindy, I'm really happy that you're in this position. You are the right person for the mission.
Thank you.
It's you can tell you have a passion for it. And this community is really, really lucky to have you there. So
thank you.
And I'm looking really forward to what's going to happen at the library in the years to come.
Yeah, I am too. I really appreciate it. And I just am so thankful for this community for just accepting me, embracing me with open arms. And I've just never felt like a place is more home than Dripping
We're
Springs.
so lucky to live here, aren't we?
Well, I have a,
We think that every
absolutely.
day.
I have a challenge for you too.
Okay.
Let's get Matthew McConaughey to do a reading of his book in the library.
I'm in. You got a connection out there? Just let me know.
Come on, Matthew. You know you want to do it.
If you have a waiting list for Mahjong, you're going to have a waiting list the length of your arm for that one. All ladies, I'm sure.
All the
ladies.
call it all the ladies. It's a $20 donation.
Yeah,
to the
how do we
library
get
to
like
it.
this petition going? Like, let's
You'll-
get him
you'll
for the
get that.
library.
You'll get
I
that money.
actually think $20 is too cheap. It should be $100 for
There you
each of
go.
those seats. I think you'd sell that out.
You
I
know
think
what?
that would be
We'll do it at Deep
wildly
Betty Vodka.
successful.
We'll do it at Deep Betty
Come on,
Vodka.
Matthew. Come on down, man. The library needs the money. You know you want to help. So. Well, Mindy, it's been a real pleasure, and thank you for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having. I've had so much fun. So thank
Well,
you for having
You're
me.
welcome.
A lot of cool stuff going on over there.
Yeah, even for somebody like me, believe it or not, I am clinically, I don't just say it just for grins. I am clinically dyslexic.
Well,
obviously.
I know that. You don't have to tell me. I know that.
And I love to read, even though it takes me longer to read. But that's why I think I also listen to audiobooks.
I like
because
the audiobooks, yeah.
I can, well, and I'm also ADHD, so I can multitask as I'm
Yeah.
reading.
I like reading, but it makes me fall asleep. That's it's relaxing, but I like to listen to audiobook when I run or when I ride my bike or something like that. So it works out, but we still get our reading in.
I listen to my, what level do you listen to your audiobooks on? Like,
What
the speed?
1.2.
So I can listen up to 1.5, sometimes 1.75.
Oh, that's too fast for me.
Yeah.
That stresses me out. I tried that. It just makes me kind of like, I gotta pay attention too much.
Well, if I want to, like I'm reading this book right now, and then I'm rereading it, or I say read. I'm listening to this book
Yeah.
right now, and I'm gonna re-listen
That's
to
a
the
topic
beginning
of
of it.
conversation in itself. If you listen on an audiobook, can you say that you've read a book?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I think some people use that term interchangeably, and I'm not sure it's true or not.
Well-
I feel like if you listen to it, I don't know if it sticks the same as if you read it, but anyway. Hey, we got to thank our wonderful sponsors because could not do the show without.
We're not doing.
Oh, I am
did
so
sponsors
off,
in the
Michelle.
beginning.
I'm so off. Damn it.
we do.
I'm
We
so
can't.
off.
We can't thank our sponsors
Well,
again.
yeah. Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room, Swampy Tonk, South Star Bank, and Mallet Integrity
you
Team.
see the
Thank
look
you.
on my
Well,
face?
I
It's
know.
like-
I was like, wow, I really blew that. Okay. Well, I'm sorry, everybody. Well, that
I'm glad I'm not
goes
the
to
only
show
one.
you we're seasoned pros here. We know what we're doing. Hey, I have this fun story out of came out of the Wall Street Journal. It was a notice posted on Facebook for the the Mount Washington United Brethren in Christ, a church in York, Pennsylvania. That was a lot. This is the official Washington Church official release. Notification of policy change regarding loud kid policy
In church.
in church. Effective immediately at Mount Washington Church, we are committed to transparency and accountability in all matters of church life. The following document outlines our comprehensive procedures regarding loud children in worship. Please consider this our official notice of policy clarification.
Shut your kids up.
No, effective immediately, if a family is considering visiting Mount Washington Church and they have a loud kid, the following options are available. Option 1, the family should bring the kid. Option 2, the family should make sure they bring the kid. Option 3, the family is to see that the child is brought to church. Option 4, the kid is absolutely welcome and expected. And then it goes on to say, we believe the sound of children in worship is not a distraction. It is evidence of life, growth, and the future of the church. If your child makes noise, you're not bothering us. You are blessing us. Policy enacted, no exceptions. I love that. I absolutely love that.
Okay, I'm a little conflicted on this. And the reason why is, okay, well, first off, when we first moved here to Austin, and we went there for 10 years or so, and I was in the youth department at Riverbend Church, the late great Gerald Mann, Pastor Gerald Mann.
Yeah.
If a child would cry or something in church, and you know how big Riverbend is, right? He would stop his sermon. And is like, could you please? He would call the parent out, so I would be mortified. Right, I'd be mortified, but it wasn't like my kids would always go to children's church, and they would have like a little other section area. But I feel like to a point, I don't mind hearing a baby giggle or a little kid, say amen or whatever. But I think to a point, at any point you can be disruptive, and I am there not to entertain your kids. I am there to worship.
Disruptive versus disrespectful.
It's like being at a restaurant, though, too, where I don't want to hear your kid running around. I think
what it is, though, is there are probably parents at home thinking, you know what? Sometimes my kids will say, "Mommy, what is that guy doing up front?" And the mom or the dad is like, I don't want to impose my kids' questions on anybody else, so they stay home. And I think that that's a very welcoming message. Like, come to our church. We know you're not perfect. We know your kids aren't perfect. You're still welcome. We want you here. I thought that was cool.
I can agree somewhat.
Have you ever been sitting in church and somebody's little like Navy's age, 1.5, 2-year-old gets out of the chair and runs up to the front of the church because it's all colorful up there, and the parents are mortified, but I'm sitting there, I'm giggling along with the kid because I think that's cute.
Yeah,
that
but
kid
then
is enjoying church.
But then if it continues to happen and they're standing, like if
that's disruptive.
If Navy started crying in church,
you take
I
her
get
out.
up, even in a restaurant with our kids, if our kids were crying or acting up, either they would go make a little attitude adjustment to the restroom. Is what I was like. Would you like to go to the restroom? I wouldn't say like you go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom, then you just got to go to the bathroom. You got to go to the restroom.
You know
no,
what?
mommy.
Yeah, I think what this policy is in response to. There's probably a couple people in their church like, there are loud children in the church, and we cannot have loud children in the church. It's some Karen thinks their life is more, and their what needs and desires are more important than anybody else's. And this church is saying, look, everybody here is flawed. Come on in. It's okay. I think it's cool.
Yeah, but don't think that your kid is so cute where you can disrupt my Sunday morning.
I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, use some common sense. If your kid's crying and kicking
there you
and
go.
Screaming,
right there.
Oh yeah, that
These
went
parents,
out the window. Yeah, I know.
Right, because they think it's cute, and this gentle parenting is not working.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you.
There is
on
a
that.
time and a place. So now let's think of this 5-year-old kid that runs up because everything's so colorful or yelling at
5-year-old's different. I
Okay,
think,
or saying something to a pastor or whatever. Okay, now this child. This behavior has been accepted time and time again, and now they're a teenager, and now they're an adult. Now they're sitting in a boardroom,
oh boy, there's a
and
whole
now they're
different,
doing it.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing.
I'm
but
all
for
about
sure.
you teach them young, you show them what is acceptable. There's a time and a place for everything. I mean, okay, yeah, the occasional, cuteness, whatever, the one-off. But when it constantly becomes, quote, an issue, I become the Karen.
Yeah.
I haven't ever said anything.
I would kind of like if in 3 months there's a follow-up to that to see how it plays out. But you get the overall message is, come on down. It's okay.
Come on down, but I will turn around and look at you like I will stare at you.
Bring the kids. Michelle will give you dagger eyes, but that's okay.
I will stare at you.
God still loves you. Jesus is still here. It's all okay.
Jesus loves you, but everybody else thinks never mind.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite. So we had the honor of hosting the chamber leadership. There was like 24, 25.
Yeah, it was fun yesterday. Yeah.
It's something they do once a year. Gosh, what are they on, class 9? I can't remember.
I think it is class 9. Yeah.
There was people from all over the community that are involved in this leadership class. Steve and I, unfortunately, can't do it because they meet on Tuesdays, and we do our podcast on Tuesdays. But they came, and we showed them the podcast and why we decided to start this podcast. And Slice Street Pizza, Darius donated pizza for them.
Upcoming Business of the Year, right?
Yeah, he did. So I was going to run through. They had their Chamber Star Awards this past week, and I thought I would kind of run through some of the awards that they gave. So the Business of the Year was Dripping Springs Automotive. the business person of the year, which is one of my favorite people in Dripping Springs, Bill Warren and Michelle Matthews. They're the owners of
Pigpen Barbecue,
which
yep.
he gives so
Love
much
them.
back to this community, just so much
And
back.
not one of those, hey, look at me, I'm supporting the community. He does so much.
He does it
just
quietly.
right under the radar where nobody really knows. He just wants to support the community.
Yeah,
Great
he
guy.
is. Him and Michelle, they're just good people.
Good people.
Just good
Yep.
people. The nonprofit of the year, which what a quinky dink, we're going to have them on our podcast today. The Dripping Springs Community Library.
We had them on our podcast today.
Or we had them on our podcast. We're sorry. Hi, my name is Michelle. Outstanding customer service. I cannot pronounce it. Acapon Brewing?
Acapon, yeah,
Acapon
you
Brewing.
did it, yeah.
Okay. Up and coming business. Oh, look who that is. Slice Street Pizza. The Hometown Heroes was the Dripping Springs Cook-Off Club.
They've been around for a long time, doing
Yeah.
a lot of great things. Yep.
Michelle Ryan, who we work with, she works in this office.
Yeah.
She's has been a part of that for a long
For
time.
a long, long time.
And the ambassador of the year is Hope Boatwright. So congratulations to all of the winners. We are very glad to know you. You know, I have to tell you this. When the leadership class came in there, I probably knew 25% of the people in there.
That's about what I knew, yeah.
Yeah. And the best part was Christine Lowantz. She is part of the leadership class, and she used to be Steve's
She was my
assistant.
second ever assistant.
And she stood at, or she was talking about, marketing. She's very, very smart, very
Super
smart.
smart.
She
Super,
was
super
on a previous podcast, so if you don't, you can go back and listen to hers. She said, Steve, you've really changed over the last 10, 15
She goes,
years.
you're a lot more fun now. And
Yeah.
you said,
And I said in front of a room full of people, that's because I've been microdosing, Steve, for the last 10
which
years.
explains a lot, by the way. Now
It's wearing off. I need a macro dose.
I'm like, oh, okay. Now I get it. She brings me an iced tea every day. I just didn't know it was laced with fentanyl and
Go
pot,
night-night.
but-
Go night-night.
Yeah. Hey, I know you don't follow running. We had Jackie Howard on a couple weeks ago, big runner, but the LA Marathon was last weekend. Did you hear any hubbub about that?
You know what, Steve? I stopped what I was doing when I heard the LA Marathon
Shut
was on
up.
my boob tube, and I
Boob tube.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, the boob tube. Well, two things happened about that marathon that were interesting. One was,
the end.
well, the end. I'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah. They offered, because they said it was going to be unusually hot, and they had the start of the race was in the 50s, which is not hot at all.
What was it? 85 in LA.
It was started in the 50,
Uh-huh.
in the 50 degrees. I've done the Austin Marathon where it was 78 degrees at the start. I mean, Austin's hot.
So
But-
were they saying that was hot? 50?
They were saying it was going to be in the high 70s at the finish. So the race organizers offered, if you got to mile 18, because it was, you did this loop and you came back around and you went by the start finish line at mile 18 and then you went back out 4 miles and turned around and came back. They said, if you're having a hard day at mile 18, it's okay. You can cut off through the finish line and you'll still get your finishing medal.
Cheaters.
Yeah, that's what I said. Cheaters. And so when they announced that, they said, they referenced that it could be excessively hot. It didn't get into the 80s until well into the afternoon. I've done the Irving Marathon where it started in the high 70s.
I'd be ticked if I was a runner in
That's
that.
how, yeah. And so the people that did 18 miles got the LA Marathon finishing medal, and if you did 26.2 miles, you got the exact same medal.
So how about you finish the marathon, then you go back to where the cutoff is, and when the people are going, you're shame.
Yeah, yeah. No
Shame.
kidding. I hope this is not a trend because marathons are freaking hard. It's always been hard. It always will be hard. It is a feat of superhuman strength. I'm telling you, it is. And at mile 20 is where marathon, actually mile 18 to mile 20, depending on who you are. That's where it gets really, really hard. You haven't tested yourself
Well,
at mile
maybe
18.
their feelings were hurt, Stephen. Their feet
Well, they're
hurt.
definitely. I think they should be ashamed if they went to mile 18 and collected the medal. I have done marathons where I wanted to quit at mile 18, but if they offered me a medal, I'd be like, hey, I didn't do it. I didn't finish it.
What's the consensus among the running community about
Real
that?
runners think that is terrible. I think that was done for Instagram, for people that want to be able to pose with their medal. They're not real runners. They didn't test themselves. It's actually, if you train a little bit, it's fairly easy to run 18 miles. It's much more difficult to go into that second step where you go from mile 20 to 26.2. That is where the marathon really gets hard. Your body gets depleted. You're burning fat. Your body's depleted of glycogen. You're hot. You've sweated a lot. You can't replenish it fast enough. That's when it gets kind of gritty, and those people didn't get to experience that.
My mind literally blanked out when you said, it's fairly easy if you train yourself to run 18 miles.
Well, most people can do that. 26.2 is a whole different thing. But the second thing that happened was there was a controversial finish. If you saw the...
that the one I saw where the guy, he won by 0.01 second?
Yeah, so Michael Kimani was in first place by quite a bit.
From Kenya, right?
Yeah, from Kenya. And Nathan...
See, I know, I follow
good
running.
Good for you, I like that, yeah. So he was I would say he was probably 200 meters ahead of Nathan Martin. Some woman ran out on the course with a flag and got in Michael's way, and he couldn't see where he was going because this woman was holding up a flag. She ran off the side of the course. He went around the barricades and ran about 25 meters off the course. He had to backtrack, back out onto the course, and when he came back out on the course and got back up to his rhythm is where most of the videos that you've seen online started, where Nathan Martin
just
out sprinted him to the finish and beat him by literally a foot?
Yeah, and then he collapsed. The Kenyan guy collapsed.
So he actually ran a longer race, and that woman, she should be arrested for running out on the course.
That to me is the safety. Look, I'm not a runner, but that to me, you're paying for, I would feel like, the safety and security of this sport.
Yeah.
And somebody that infringes on that, you're exactly right, should be arrested, should be held accountable. Yeah. It just goes back to babies in church.
Yeah. Well, I feel really bad for Michael Kimani because if he hadn't gotten sidetracked, he would have won that marathon by 100 yards. I mean, Nathan Martin, that turn of speed that he had at the end to pass him was amazing. But he wouldn't have beaten him if he hadn't run off course.
I wonder how he feels. I wonder if he feels like, okay, yeah, he won, right? Okay, on a technicality, he won. But I wonder if when he went to bed that night, if he thought, I won, but I really didn't
but I'll
win.
bet you he didn't know when he out-sprinted him at the finish line. At that point, he didn't know. In his mind, he won fair and square. Probably later on when he saw the video, he went, oh man, that's not. And one of the reasons that it's important is because these are pros. Probably first place for the LA Marathon's probably $100,000. Second place is probably $25,000.
Oh, are you serious? I didn't realize they get paid.
Yeah, they get paid, and they get paid large amounts of money. You win the Boston Marathon, I think it's over $100,000.
If I really put my mind to it, I could win the Boston Marathon.
You could run 18 miles if you really put your mind to it.
I could, but you know what? I don't want to.
Well, I hope that this LA Marathon is the last time that we ever see a finishing medal for somebody that didn't finish the race.
Yeah.
I hope that's not brought up again.
That's cheating.
I'm
sorry. That is cheating. So we were talking about books and just having the library on.
Yeah.
And I ran across an article that said books that completely changed the way people saw the world. And it was a subreddit kind of stream that people were talking about. And I was very fascinated by some of the books that people were, that had mentioned. I know you've heard some of these. God, this one's been around for a long time. It was actually the year I graduated high school. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah,
do you remember that one?
I do, yeah.
What was the other one? I was surprised that one wasn't on there. How was it? How to
influence people
or
and
how
make
to get
friends?
How to get the cheese or what?
Oh, who moved my cheese?
Yeah, who moved my cheese?
That's I've read that book many times. It's actually, if you're in any kind of a sales position, it reminds you that you can't come up with your strategy and then just stick with that strategy. It has to constantly evolve.
Yeah, I've read that a couple times, but like a long time ago. Flowers for Algernon. I remember that one. That one's from 1966. It's a science fiction. It's a first published short story in 1959, and then it was a book in 1966. Here's the other one, The Zen and Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Oh, I remember that one. That's a good one.
It narrates a summer motorcycle trip undertaken by his father and son while slowly morphs into a man's search for meaning. That was from 1947.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Ishmael by David Quinn. That one was from 1992. It was about the metaphor about society being a faulty plane that is falling off a cliff but thinks it's flying because it simply hasn't hit the ground yet, which has always stuck with me. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah, he was a Roman emperor, right?
Yeah, from what is it, 161? That year 161?
The year 161,
yeah, the year.
AD.
Some of these I thought were The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Mercy.
I've not heard of that
It's one person found this book which poised our subconscious dictates life events to be tremendously powerful.
Is War and Peace on there by Tolstoy?
No, it wasn't. Love Your Life. The Little Prince, remember that one? And The 12-Week Year offers an organizational system that combats the trouble people have sticking to New Year's resolutions and their annual goals. So do you have like some books that stick out to you? I do. My earliest memory is Hello, God, It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume.
Yeah.
I love that one. Next Door Savior is also one that I read by Max Lucado, which is one of my favorite Christian authors. I loved that one. I always kind of reference it. I've read it like 3 times. It basically talks about how to be a Christian in everyday life and not yell at babies in church. I think there's a line in that. But 2 books that really messed with my head, both by C.S. Lewis, The Screwtape Letters. I don't know if you ever read that one, and The Case for Christianity. The Case for Christianity was one of the most fascinating and disturbing books I have ever read. And
I haven't read that one.
it was an interesting book, and we had it was basically talking about the will of God and God playing chess with your life or not playing chess for your life, and it was an interesting read.
You and I talk about that sometimes. People will say to us, yeah, I prayed about it and God told me not to do that. I don't think God really cares if you bought a new car or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think God cares about some of the big stuff in your life. Like if you pray about, should I get married to that person? Is this person the love of my life? Am I going to be able to build a good family with them and live the life that I want and deserve? That's probably worth praying about. But asking God, should I go buy that second beach house? I don't think he cares.
No, I always felt like, my Christianity is very individualism.
Yes, just like that word.
Yeah, very hard.
I have 2 books. One is The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I have probably read that to all 3 of my kids at least 20 times each. I love that book.
Oh, see, you're going to have to get that book when you have a
I
grandbaby
will.
one day.
I definitely will. And the second one is a book by Mark Manson. Everything's
Everything's on fire?
No,
Oh,
everything is effed, but it's spelled out. And it's a book about hope. It's about that life is basically a mess all the time, but your life doesn't have to be a mess. Just because things are happening that are out of your control, or things are kind of like how we are in the office sometimes, like, everything's going nuts, but you don't have to let your life be like that. There's always hope.
Are you taking your own?
You know what?
Maybe you need to read that book again.
I actually was just sitting here thinking, I haven't read it in a couple years, and it's sitting under my nightstand. I'm going to read it.
Okay,
because I probably need it right now, because it feels like some days everything is effed.
I just read or listened to How to Know People by David Brooks, and I recommended that one too. It's really good. But one of the other ones I just finished was really fascinating, and I stopped probably about 3/4 of the way because they started getting political, and I was like, I hate when they do that. And the book was really good. Everything is tuberculosis.
Oh, I haven't even heard of that one. I thought you were going to talk about the Matthew McConaughey book. What's his book?
Oh man, that one was so good.
his is really
Green Light.
good.
Green
Yeah,
Light.
Green Lights.
You have to listen to that book.
I agree with that. Yeah, because he reads it. In the last chapter, he lost me. I'm like, dude, you're doing so great. And then he goes, it's almost like somebody read his book and then said, hey, you got to put this one chapter in here so you're politically correct.
I have to agree with you on that.
It didn't fit the rest of the book.
I am reading also. I have like several books that I have like started. I'm reading is Kenny Chesney's book.
Oh, really?
And I've decided I'm probably about like a quarter of the way through it, and I've decided that I need to not read it because I want to listen to it. Because like Matthew McConaughey's book, I don't think it would, aside from the pictures and stuff that would like pop-ups. No,
Yeah.
I think I need to hear Kenny Chesney read it, and I think it's a disservice sometimes. Barring they have something wrong with their voice. But if an author doesn't read their own book in an audiobook,
Yeah, I agree with that. There are some narrators of books, though, that are really good. I'm reading a series by C.J. Box. It's about this guy that's a game warden in Wyoming, and it's narrated by, dang it, who is that guy?
What's your favorite genre of books to read?
I like kind of mystery, kind of like Stephen King, but not scary like that. Kind of like, twists and turns, and Dean Koontz and C.J. Box is like
my dad
that.
liked Dean Koontz. I will read fiction, but I really like biographies and not really self-help, but I like Christian books. I like I said, Max Lucado. I just finished another one of his last week. But
I was trying to find out. These books are they're narrated by, I can't remember. He's a famous actor, but his voice is really good, and he narrates all the books. So he's become the C.J. Box books. So he's become the voice of C.J. Box for me.
Well, I would like Matthew McConaughey to narrate my book one day.
Yeah, well, get him on the show.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, or
Put
Rooster.
him on the list.
Yeah, we'll put him on the list.
Yeah, Rooster would work too. So. Well, that's it for the show this week, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We always enjoy this. And thank you to Mindy Laird from the library for coming in. And we will talk to you next week.